spoke to Eddie a lot regarding the offer for Carl Frampton. He says he can't get hold of any representatives of Frampton, etc., etc. Where are you in all this? Where are your thoughts?
Listen, that's the fight we want. The Carl Frampton fight. It's the biggest fight for me. It's the biggest fight for him, and it's the biggest fight in British boxing, I believe personally. You know, you've got Billy Cleverly, you've got maybe Khan Brook, but I really do believe that me and him is the biggest domestic fight that can happen. And whether obviously Eddie's tried contacting their team, they've not got back yet, so there's not much more I can say on that. I want the fight. Carl wants the fight, and I think the only sticking point is the ego of Barry McGuigan. But listen, all I can keep doing is keep training, keep focused, keep improving, and beating who's put in front of me.
People talk about windows for fight, and they have to be made through a certain window. Do you think this fight can stay? If it doesn't happen now, it can still stay there for a window for it to be made?
Maybe within the next 6 months to 8 months, but I think it's perfect time to happen now. I know he's injured his hand and he's going to be out till next year, so I don't want to be sat out till next year. Hopefully I can get out again. But like I say, I think it's perfect timing now. Maybe one more fight and he has another fight, but then we're both world champions. What better time is it now? So it's like, just got to leave it up to them to come back and see if they want the fight. They say they want the fight, but
what does this make the Leo Santa Cruz fight more prominent if the Carl Frampton fight can't be made?
Yeah, if the Carl Frampton fights there and the Leo Santa Cruz fights there, I'd rather have the Frampton fight. But if he's not dealing, then the fight I want is the Leo Santa Cruz fight, and there's been more talk about that now. He's been more vocal saying he wants to fight, so I'll be on a plane tomorrow if he wants that fight. I rate him as a fighter. I think he's a very, very good fighter, but I believe our styles will gel into an absolute barnstormer of a fight, and it's one that I really do believe that I can beat him and will beat him. He's never fought. I personally don't think he's fought anybody as strong or stronger and bigger than him. So, like I say, all I've got to do is keep training hard, keep focused, and these big fights will come.
Mick Hennessy, Kid Galahad's promoter, has been quite vocal in the fact that he has made offers to Eddie for yourself to fight Kid Galahad. Is that a fight that interests you at all, Scott?
It's just a big fight, but at the minute, no. I'm looking ahead, as in I want either the Carl Frampton or Leo Santa Cruz fight. I know there was an interview the other week, they're going on about his opponent that was better than my last opponent, apparently.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know your thoughts on it, which was nonsense, but the guy we just fought won a 12-round decision against the Argentine Santiago Leone, who I demolished in 3 rounds. So he'd never been in with anyone. You know, Jamoy had been in with Cruz, the WBC bantamweight champion. He'd beat Lee Askin. Listen, he had very good credentials, but whoever this DeSantos were, apparently he was better than Jamoy. But listen, I don't. It's all fun and games.
Was you offered the Dos Santos fight?
Never been offered. Didn't even know his name. Never even heard of him. I had to YouTube him, and then when I seen it, I thought, right, that's that. Personally, I think he should have. I was expecting Galahad to get him out of there, but it is what it is.
Super bantamweight division at the moment, it's alive, it's electric. There's so many potentially big fights that can be made. It's just a case of getting the promoters together and working out the right offers, isn't
Correct.
it?
Correct. You want to be in them big fights. You want, and we're all lucky, even domestically and worldwide. There's a lot of fighters around the same weight, and them fights need to be made, and one like so many years ago it was the middleweights, then the welterweights, now as well. Then when you've got to make the most of it when you've got a crop of fighters at the same weight that can be in some belting fights, and you've got to make the most of that.
Alright, well listen, I hope for British boxing's sake the Carl Frampton fight does get made.
Yep. It's
a fight that we all want to see. I said the magnitude of the event in itself will be a great piece, you know, it really will.
That's the fight we want, and hopefully it gets made.
Alright, thanks Scott.
Cheers James.